This particular budget was passed by both chambers of the National Assembly and was assented to by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. To now cast aspersions on such a matter of national significance without allowing the fact-checking or verification is worrisome. Mr. President, permit me to read verbatim the English version posted by distinguished Senator Suleiman Kawu. Breaking news. For the first time in Nigeria history, today we are operating two different budgets. One budget approved by the National Assembly, signed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the other implemented by the presidency. This one approved by us is 25 trillion, while the one operated by the federal government is 28 trillion. Apparently, we discovered 3 trillion was inserted into the budget without locations. This is the highest budget padding happened in Nigeria history under Senator Akpabio watched. I'm quoting. We resolve as people representatives to see President Tinubu on this issue with facts and figures to ask him if he is aware with this embarrassment or not. Then from there we will take action. Let Nigerians be patient with us. This is a national issue. It affects all Nigerians irrespective of party, tribe, or religion. Senator Abdul Ningi, Chairman of the Senators Forum, as quoted by Senator Suleiman Kawu. Mr. President, the above statement contains the following assertions. Number one, today in Nigeria, we are operating two budgets. Two, the one approved by the National Assembly is 25 trillion, while the one operated by the President is 28 trillion. I'm a member of the Appropriation Committee, I'm a member of this Senate, and it is in this Senate that we sat and considered the 2024 appropriation bill and passed it. And what we passed was not 25 trillion, but was 28 trillion. The third point there is that we discovered 3 trillion was inserted into the budget without locations. 4, this is the highest budget padding in Nigerian history under Senator Akpabio. 5th, let Nigerians be patient with us. Mr. President, as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and as a global citizen with global credentials, allowing me to practice as an accountant and tax professional anywhere in the world, I want to say these assertions must be promptly investigated and decisive actions taken to save the integrity of the Senate and my integrity. Because all eyes are on us, and this matter is currently in a matter in the public domain. Mr. President, I second the motion that this matter be investigated and follow the rules of the Senate and take actions. I so move, Mr. President. Thank you, sir. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, for me, I think this is a very straightforward matter. We have a situation where we should actually be the stabilizers of the National Assembly. But I think sometimes in our efforts to go after certain individuals and to go after certain goals, and to go after certain personal issues, we tend to go overboard. I think you've thrown more light, Senator Joel, on what was posted by Senator Kawu. I think that is where they picked most of the headlines from. Budget padding. Akpabio, 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 Akpabio. I don't think anybody ever mentioned Tajuddin Abbas, Tajuddin Abbas, Tajuddin Abbas, because it takes both the Senate and the House of Representatives to make a budget. The executive submits it to us, and then we work on it, and we even worked on it together. All the committees here invited their DGs, the ministers, and they appeared before them. All their MDs, you appear before them before you finally, when in fact to speed up the process, we made sure that we had a joint meeting of the House of Representatives and the Senate when you were meeting with the heads of your various agencies and ministries before finally going to defend your proposals before the Appropriation Committee, which was also a joint sitting of Appropriation Committee of the House of Reps and the Senate. So I think what is out there from the United States of America to Canada, to this, to that, as a result of the issue generated. In fact, I've even seen a response from the presidency attempting to even defend the Senate, that in their assessment, there was no budget padding by the Senate. But I've seen Premium Times also reporting that this is the highest budget padding in the history of Nigeria since 1960. That, yes. So it's not for me, it's for you to discuss. I want to state clearly that I am an unbiased umpire. I have no voice, I have no say. The decision is yours. Distinguished Senator Olarere, point of order will be taken, but let's finish this because we are on a point of order. Huh? I will take it. I've already recognized Senator Olarere. You are not hearing what I'm saying. I have heard your point of order. It will be taken. Senator Olarere, say what you want to say.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Just a clarification. My name is Olalere Kamorudin Oyewumi. I represent Osun West Central District, and by the grace of God and the support of my people, the Deputy Minority Leader of the Senate. Sir, it will be very important to make a clarification at this point, because this matter and all the allegations are already in the public domain, and questions are being asked from time to time since 2 days ago when this thing came out. In paragraph 4 or 5, there was a whole paragraph devoted to the selection of the minority leadership has been imposed. I found that very disturbing. Imposed by who? I was fortunate to be among the first set and the second set. The truth is that nobody imposed us, and our colleagues know that we are not imposed. Wait, that is it here. Wait, let me finish. It is there. Listen, let me finish. It is there. Both the first one and the second one, our people signed for us. In the first attempt, 36 senators signed for the three of us. And when the two of them were removed, individually, the present minority leader was signed for personally, and he has 42 votes. So, thank you. It's very, very important so that the world will know that we are not imposed. We are elected by our people through their signature, and that's why we are announced to represent our people. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Let me say that distinguished colleagues, what Senator Olarere just pointed out also arises from the discussions here. He feels that his own personal privilege had been breached and that he was elected by his people, one as a senator, and two, elected by majority of the members of the opposition, and it was not imposed. So your observation and your submissions are sustained. Senator Alero.
Point of order, Mr. President. I come under constitutional point of order. 36. Section 36. Right to fair hearing. With your permission, Mr. President, I will read. Let me go straight forward and read 2A, section 36, 2A. Provides, okay. In the determination of his civil rights and obligation, including any question or determination by or against any government or authority, a person shall be entitled to fair hearing within a reasonable time by a court or other tribunal established by law and constituted in such manner as to secure its independence and impartiality. Provides, I will section 2A, not waste our time. 2A provides for an opportunity for the person whose rights and obligation may be affected to make representation to an administering authority before the authority makes the decision affecting that person. Mr. President, I come under this order because fair hearing is a fundamental human right enshrined in our Constitution. Allegations have been made against Senator Abdul Ningi. I think it's only fair for us to give him time or to give him chance to defend himself before this august body.
I want to do it now and here. And I have the documents. I have the documents to back any claim. I want to be given the opportunity to defend myself.
You are not recognized. Sit down, you are not recognized. Mr. President, I haven't finished. I also have a point of order raised by Senate leader.
Distinguished colleagues, we cannot suddenly turn the Senate into a market. Distinguished Senator Alero, we give you respect, not just as a ranking senator, but as an elder statesman. So if you stopped talking while you have the floor, and then you allow Senator Ningi to jump up and start shouting, that's not the behavior of the Senate. This is not a Rise Television or BBC Hausa service. So I would like a situation where you speak. If Senator Ningi wants to say something, I will grant him the opportunity. And he will say something, but we must conduct ourselves with decorum and respect for one another, and particularly respect for this institution. So if you are through, and any other person wants to talk, the person should raise his hand, I will recognize you. You can go. Noted. Any other person wants to say something? Yeah, no, we can't go further with any other person until I hear from Senator Ningi.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Abdul Ningi, and I represent Bauchi Central of Bauchi State, and of course, a member of the Appropriation Committee of the Senate. Mr. President, from the onset, let me concur to about 80% of the translation read out by Senator Yai. I think they have done a fair job, except on some issues that they could not understand. First, I have never said somebody was blinded. Secondly, I have never said the budget was padded. Mr. Chairman, the beginning of this braha started with this text, and by your leave, I will read. For the first time in Nigerian history today, we are operating two different budgets. One budget approved by the National Assembly, signed by President Bola Tinubu, and one signed and one implemented by the presidency. The one approved by us is 25 trillion, while the one operating by the government is 28 trillion. Apparently, we discovered 3 trillion was inserted into the budget without location. This is the highest budget padding happening in Nigeria. History under Senator Akpabio, taking place under the watchful eyes of Senator Akpabio. We resolve as people representing to see Bola Tinubu on this issue with facts and figures, to ask him if he's aware with this embarrassment or not. Then from there, we will take action. Let me
see the details. In fact, he said, so some things are repeated in the budget, and that the calculation his consultants have come up with was 25 trillion. And therefore, 3.7 trillion was hanging. The Senator Lero, you missed that meeting, but many of the senators were there in that meeting. He now gave me a diagram trying to give percentages allotted to regions. And in the course of it, I discovered that while the Southeast, at least I'm talking of Southeast now, had about 3.9%. The South-South had 2.2%. The South-South is where the Senate President comes from. So I was surprised. So I called his attention, and I requested to have the full details. And he promised me that he was going to make the full details available. And I told him that when the full details are made available, in fact, Senator Dume was also there, he spoke, that when the full details of his findings, you are there, you even, Senator Dume was not only there, but he also spoke. I said, when the full details are made available, that I definitely will also get a consultant to study it, and I will call us to meet again. As at up till now, you have not given me any document, but you were able to attend to the BBC interview. So, what is before us now is that it will be good for our colleagues, because this thing is in the public glare. If you had given me full details, I have not received full details up to this moment. I would have been able to know what you know. But so far, what you know is only known to you. It's not known to any other person. So I don't know how you will rush to the press. Premium Times, all sorts of areas carry different versions. And the Nigerian public, the social media is very fast. From Canada, United States, everywhere, the story was budget padding by Senate. in fact, I can quote a section of the Premium Time that said that this is the highest level of budget padding in Nigeria's history, where the Senate passed a budget of 25 trillion, but what is being operated is 28 trillion. I just want Nigerians to know, because Nigerians are listening to us. I want Nigerians to know that what the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, presented to us in a joint sitting end of November 2023 for consideration was 27.5 trillion. So at no time did the President present 25 trillion. Now, the presidency has even come to clarify that. And if there is any addition to the budget, it's in the sum of 1.2 trillion. And he has, the mover of the motion has given us the breakdown of where the additions went to. And also, for me, that you are saying you have, you don't know how many aides the Senate President has, you don't know how many aides the Deputy Senate President has, that is in the budget. We haven't seen the areas in the budget where the aides of the senators and Senate Presidents are listed out. No matter what we want to discuss here, this is not the speech I expected. I expected a speech of somebody who would say, oh, I was misquoted. Oh, I'm sorry for this or that. Oh, the misinterpretation was this. But you went back to Arise yesterday night and justified your position and went further to say you have documents. Even now in front of this Senate, you say you have documents. And those documents are with you. No single senator here knows. No Nigerian knows. But at the same time, Nigerians are bashing the Senate. Nigerians are imbibing. Many Nigerians will never in future come back to respect these chambers. So the integrity of these chambers has been totally damaged, and we wanted you to repair it with your speech. But instead of that, you say you have more documents to prove what you are saying. Senator, I did not cut, I gave you all the time. Senator Shehu Sani, sorry, Senator Sani Musa, I want your contribution, not just as a senator, but also as a chairman of Senate Committee on Finance that played a major role in this budget saga.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Mohammed Sani Musa, representing Niger East Senatorial District. My distinguished colleagues, I'm standing to make my own comments and to say it convincingly as my heart and mind have given me to say. I am a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria like any one of you here. But strongly, I am disappointed not only in the way and manners we present ourselves to national discourse. And there is no better place for me to say it than here. I went to my constituency yesterday. I have seen calls from my colleagues. I've not responded to some. Some I have answered them. What is your view about what is happening? Why are you not commenting? Why will I comment? Is it my colleagues that voted for me to be here? Why will I comment? 2024 budget came on the 31st of November. 30th of November. 30th of November. And we had only 1 month If I will go by parliamentary standards, we have the right to decide when to pass our budget. But if we have decided to pass a budget, on what parameters did we pass our budget? And if those parameters were given, did this respectful chamber sit down, deliberate on those parameters, agree on those parameters, pass those parameters and approve them? Because there's no way you can make a budget without them. So if anybody will come and say this budget is a default, that means we are all at default from the first time when we were passing the MTEF. And when the executive brought their budget as a proposal, the total amount, compared to the total amount they returned after the first MTEF, we still deliberated here and we reviewed that MTEF, we approved it and we passed it. So I'm hearing for the first time, waiting for Senator Ningi to affirm himself, to saying he said we passed 25 trillion naira budget. Since he has said he did not say it and he recanted it, I will reserve the words I have for that. But I will go further to saying that I've been maligned as a senator. The respect I used to have when I go home, I saw it different the last time I went. And I was told that I've been given an allocation of 55 billion in my budget, and that video is even in the TikTok today. So why will I not stand here and say my mind? I'm not a party to any discovery that I have not seen. To me, it's not a discovery. And I don't see any reason why I will disturb myself to posting any comments. I will want my distinguished and respectful colleagues, Mr. President, I'm not one person that do anything on eye service. I don't. If I have anything I will say it before anyone and clear my mind. Distinguished Senator Ningi, Samai Lakau, you are in northern senators. And I'm saying it in the chamber of the Senate. I'm not a second-class northerner. I will be sitting here. Some of the things that are happening within the Northern Senators Forum doesn't get to people like me. This is the person that will give me the information. So what makes me feel somehow the day we came for the meeting in the Senate President's office, in fact, I didn't want to attend that meeting. It was one of your aides that insisted I must be there. If I'm not there, it will mean something. I said, let it mean. I was chairing a subcommittee meeting in the ad hoc of disbursement then, but I was the last person to be there. And why did I go there? Why did I go there? Why did I go there? If there's anything, we agreed at that meeting, nobody will go to the press. I was asked to comment. I reluctantly comment. Let me use the word of Senator Abaribe. In the 9th Assembly, he will always say, I'm reluctantly agreeing to it. I reluctantly agreed to make a comment. And when I made a comment, I said, if anybody said he has seen anything, provide the evidence. And Since the evidence will be given to Senate President knows where to take those evidences, and we will know the truth or otherwise of those evidences. But going to the press, we should not go to the press. In the morning, when I saw a message from Samai Elakau, I felt we should have acted as senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I felt so sad when I saw it. And that message is going around. Look at the content, look at the English. Is it senators? Is that our quality? Is that our standard? Mr. President, we will deal with the issue of the Senate of the budget, but we have to also deal with our ethical standard in the Senate. Thank you, Mr. President.
Here, point of order. Point of order. Point of order. Point of order.
Senator Jeremy.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for yielding the floor to me. I thought when the chairman of appropriations spoke, it was as clear as crystals that there was a misunderstanding of the figures. When he came up with the GOEs and all the agencies on first-line charge, there is no difference between the figure he reeled out and the figure purported to be padded. I thought with that matter would have been rested by Senator Ningi, saying that this 3-point-something trillion was not part of the budgetary provisions printed out for us. That would have settled this matter. We are going forth and back on these issues and coming up with issues of the budget and individual issues concerning what came to our various constituencies. If we want to go into those issues, all of us are culpable. Some senators here, so-called senior senators, got 500 million each. I am a ranking senator, I didn't get. Did I go to the press? Most of you got. And yes, if we want to go into those issues, excuse me, if we want to go into those issues, yes. So I think that Senator Ningi,
I'm seeing about, yeah, I know, I tried it from where?
that is my position. Wahala now, you see the wahala. No. Quite all right. Point of order. Million pro.
Na leader now.
I want to appeal to my decision.
Order.
Take your seat.
It's like that. It's always hot tempered. Even in House of Reps, forces talk. minority leader like that. Yeah. How about her? No wonder Senator. Abdulmali? Yeah, Gajia. Okay, Tahira Marathon. You are finished.
I have finished.
Yes.
Okay, let me just go.
Rowdy.
That's my brother Senator's phone. Actually, she is on this one.
You don't want to sit down and listen to this one.
No, be his
It's your senator
brother.
that caused it.
His brother that caused it.
But Senator
His mother is
brother.
senator to me.
is what?
Ningi, his mother is senator to me.
For 9 causes
My
fight
senator
now.
come. I want to ask
Actually, he's
them.
more than a senator.
Okay.
And we are not from the same zone. You understand? But he's more than a senator.
Amma akwai wata abu a ƙasa ne.
Akwai mana suna da parts.
Akwai abu a
Wannan
ƙasa.
tunani ne.
A yanzu ma ga shi da document turum a hannunsa.
Yes, but then that's when Nigerians are very stubborn people.
Yes, for him to pay
Yes,
that
it's on life right now.
consultant.
Take your seat, take your seat. Thank you.
Nake wani case.
Distinguished colleagues, take your seat, take your seat. Dr. Sars, take your seat. Take your seat, take your seat, take your seat. Senator Cyril, take your seat. Senator.
Actually, I don't know. Me, I didn't listen to Senator. They asked me that man, who it be?
No, it's, don't worry. I'll handle it. I'll handle it. Distinguished colleagues, Section 66. Open to Section 66. Section 66, please. Nobody should approach the chair any longer. Senator Alero, please. I want I want to take control. Please. Section 66. Senator Omer. Senator Ezia. I know.
He's ready to say that the consultant has misled not the senators for the 0.7 billion is allocation for the mission and INEC.
Your Excellency, the chamber is ready for business, sir.
Point of order. Point of order. Extension of time. Point of Mr. President, Mr. President sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, I rise pursuant to Order 8 sub 3 to ask for extension of time to enable us to see beyond 2 p.m. I so move, Mr. President.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, I second the motion that the Senate do extend its time in order to complete the items on the order paper. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, a motion has been moved and seconded that this August Assembly do extend the time of our sitting beyond 2 p.m. Those in support of the motion as moved and seconded say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Let me point out Section 62 of our rules. Whenever the President of the Senate or the chairman rises, as in this case during a debate, any senator then speaking or offering to speak shall sit down, and the Senate, or if it is in the committee, shall be silent so that the President of the Senate or sitting as chairman may be heard without any interruption. It means that every senator should drop his hand. It also means that every senator should be seated and no noise. Section 66 of our rules. Nobody becomes a senator unless he has gone through the rudiments or primaries of election and been sworn in, and therefore we have processes. The same way this chamber has processes and procedures. But whenever we make noise or move around, we must not forget that we are under strict rules of our standing orders, the rules of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are here today. Others will come tomorrow. Some of us may not come again. Some of us may come again. So it's important for us to obey the rules. So the Senate President is standing. Section 66. The President of the Senate or the Chairman, after having called the attention of the Senate or of the committee to the conduct of a senator who persists in irrelevance or tedious repetition, either of his own arguments or of the arguments used by other senators in debate, may direct him to discontinue his speech. That is 66.1. 66.2 also gives the Senate President the power to order the Sergeant at Arms to walk out such a senator from the day's proceedings. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, my name is Abba Moro. I represent the very good people of the Benue South Senatorial District, and by the grace of God and the support of my colleagues, the Minority Leader. Mr. President, I want to appreciate the debates that have gone on so far in the course of the motion moved by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriation. Mr. President, I want to anchor my comment on this issue from two perspectives. From the perspective of the budget, from the perspective of the meetings that have been held this far on this issue, and then from the perspective of the derogatory and undermining comments that have been made on my position and the position of others as minority leaders. Mr. President, first, from the perspective of the budget. As has been noted, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, this budget is a product of painstaking efforts by the Executive and the National Assembly. National Assembly, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. And all of us here, directly or indirectly, have been involved in the process. And we all know that in the process of making a budget, everybody, either at the level of the committee
or at the level of the Senate at plenary or the House of Reps at plenary makes contributions. And if we have observations as to whatever is not correctly put in perspective from what majority of the people have advanced, we all know the procedure for addressing such issues. And I think in this instant case, we have not done that. We have not done that. And I don't know what it means to some people, but I know that this Senate is supposed to be a Senate of matured minds. And in the process, therefore, we must surrender our interests to the interests of this very institution and the institution of the country called Nigeria. To do otherwise is certainly irresponsible. And I make bold to say here that Nigeria is not an island on itself. There are other parliamentary institutions in other countries. And so when something untoward like this begins to happen, I think we must reflect very soberly and get ourselves back on the right tracks. And that is the reason why I say here that this budget, I understand that my brother here, Senator Ningi, had made some observations about the budget. Mr. President, I want to inform you that I attended that meeting of Northern Senators with you that day. Due to the respect that I have for you and the respect that I have for the leadership and the institution of Northern Senators. And when we got there, observations were made. And I think the conclusion that we arrived at that time was that these documents on the observations must be presented to the Senate President. And we agreed, even informally, that if there are any anomalies here, they can be corrected by the either corrigendum or amendment to the budget, or that the leadership will take note of the anomalies and correct them in the subsequent budgets, if at all. And so, as a member of the Northern Senators Forum, I feel offended that a press conference was addressed, interviews were granted on an issue that's already before the Senate. I think it's inappropriate. And I told the Deputy Senate President that, look, I didn't give anybody any permission to speak on my behalf on that matter anymore.
Senator Kawu, you posted on your Facebook page about the budget padding. Just tell us whether the Facebook page address us so that we know whether your listing was hacked or not.
Mr. President, my dear distinguished colleagues, I am Suleiman Abrahaman Kawu Sumaila, representing Kano South Senatorial District, NNPP from Kano. Mr. Speaker, I had, Mr. President, very sorry, I heard what our colleague, Senator Solomon Adiola, present in his motion. Quite all right, Mr. President, I was in that meeting in your house, and we all agree that we will not in any way grant an interview or engage anybody on this issue. You promise to look into it. To the extent you ask Chief Whip of the Senate, who happened to be Deputy Chairman of Appropriation, whether he has knowledge on what is going on in the budget, and he responded to you that negatively, that no. Therefore, I quite agree and affirm that position. And from that time up to today, there was no time I granted an interview with anybody. All what happened, sir, is that after we left your house, I had in the morning the interview of Senator Abdul Ningi. I read it, I listened to it attentively. I realized that he granted the interview before our meeting. Even in that case, it is not what we agree in our last meeting, that we are not going to press. In the afternoon, there was a first at so many platforms, which I posted it to our Northern Senators Forum. Northern Senators Forum. There was no place and nobody hacked my account, and I stand to be corrected. Nobody hacked my account, and I am not in agreement with what my brother Solomon presented to this Senate. It is total lie. I am not party of it. If for any reason, what I forced to the Senate, our Northern Senators Forum, as a member of that forum, and it is exclusively for our own consumption. My intention is to call the attention of our brothers that see what is going on and see what people are saying. I am very busy during the weekend because of Ramadan, but there was no time. I guaranteed at the interview. On my way to Kano, Senator Tambuwal called me, directed me, not even as my colleague, but as my big brother, that you must make sure, don't even in any way guaranteed an interview with anybody on this issue. Senator Barrow too, before I enter Kano, he do the same to me. And throughout, from Friday up to yesterday, I am busy in my constituency, attending my routine tafsir. Secondly, sir, with due to respect to our colleagues, we are not in any way intend to undermine either the president, Senate president, or the Senate. We are matured enough. We knew this business. We all agree that we are leaders. And we understand, or we understood, our constitutional responsibility. One of it is oversight. Constitutionally, we must make sure that there is scrutiny on whatever is going in related to federal government expenditure. Mr. President, with due respect to our colleague, how many of us has time to go through this budget? How many of us? I have some items here in the budget, sir. No, I just want to draw our attention. 36 items ranging to 57 billion naira without location. Let me tell you the last one. You will understand what we are complaining, and you will understand our appealing. And Mr. President, sir, you agree with us that most of what happened during the budget, you are, for example, number 36, ERGP 2021, 29, 20.
Senator Kawu, please, I've withdrawn your protection. I will explain something to you. We are trying to remain one Senate. You have not denied the post that you made. Distinguished Senator Olamilekon, do you have the post that you made? Yes. Can you read it out? Yes. No, it's important because he's saying he stands by his post. Please, can you just number? You are not hearing me. You are not hearing me. I said, wait, Senator Kawu, I want you to, okay, since you don't have it, Senator Olamilekon, you are the mover of the motion.
Mr. President, distinguished colleague, Buhari Abdul Fattah or not. Mr. President, my amendment is we should be cautious and reduce whatever punitive measure we are going to take. Let's learn from it. There's this popular Yoruba adage, when an elder falls, you look at the back, what falls. And when a child falls, you look at the front. And I'm just amending that even we should allow Senator Ningi and Senator Kawu to even say that, sorry, let's give them that privilege. When we give them that privilege, And the Senate now decided, the Senate now decided to even take a punitive measure. We can reduce it to 3 months, which is okay, so that other people can learn from it, so that to serve as a detriment. 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. But for us to say 6 months, 1 year, let's forget, they are representing a senatorial. People are watching them. So 3 months, 3 months.
Yes. This which Senator Garoba.
Thank you, Mr. President. No, it's me. It's me. Him or me?
Thank you. The Senate President sitting in as chair. My name is Garba Musa Maidoki. It's on. My name is Garba Musa Maidoki, representing Kebbi South Senatorial District, sir. Mr. President, having heard that most of what was said was erroneously transcribed to the press without following the agreed position with the Senate President so that report can be given to them, my amended prayer is the suspension of Mr. Senator Ningi. My prayer is the suspension of Senator Ningi for 3 months, but if he writes an apology to the Senate the following day, he should be recalled. That is my prayer, sir.
Any seconder? Chief Whip, you are talking too much. You are talking too much. Sorry, Musa.
Mr. President, sitting as the chair, my respected colleagues, my name is Mohammed Sani Musa, representing Niger East Senatorial District. I stand to second the amendment as proposed by Senator Maidoki that instead of suspending Senator Ningi to 12 months or 6 months, we should give him 3 months and also allow him to apologize to this Senate and put it in writing as well. And if he does that, and we consider that there is a remorse, this Senate have every right to call him back as soon as we feel them. So I so move. I so second. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, I'm aware of the standing order 66 sub 4 that talks about 14 legislative days if a misdemeanor is committed in the Senate, not in BBC. So I'm just trying to say that I'm mindful of the rules of the Senate. Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved that in view of the grievous offense of Senator Ningi, that he be suspended. Those in support of 1 year suspension. Okay. Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved by an amendment has been offered by distinguished Senator Maidoki and seconded by distinguished Senator Sani Musa, that he be suspended for only 3 months from the Senate. Those in support of the suspension for 3 months say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So, distinguished Senator Ningi, is hereby suspended for 3 months from all activities connected with the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, I stand to move that the Senate reverse to plenary to enable the chair report to progress. I so move.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, I second the motion that Chairman, the Senate reverse to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, a motion has been moved and seconded that this Senate do refer to plenary to report progress. Those who are in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. Yeah, clarification, yes.
No, one clarification, Mr. President. Senator Jaribi made mention of 500 million. I think we should give him the chance to specify. No, it's good. Let him explain. Let him explain.
Thanks for checking out SYMFONI on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.